Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going to be diving into the world of AI and entertainment. And no, we're not going to be talking about robots becoming the next Hollywood stars, although with AI, who knows, maybe one day. But get ready for a pretty fascinating look at all the ways that AI is quietly revolutionizing the movies we watch, the music we listen to, and even the games that we play.
Yeah, it really is amazing how AI is, it's like subtly woven into so many aspects of entertainment now, often without us even realizing it.
Exactly. So before we get into all the crazy ways AI is being used,
Yeah.
let's break down what we actually mean by AI, beyond just like those futuristic movies with sentient robots and stuff.
Right, the term AI gets thrown around quite a bit these days. In the simplest terms, you can think of AI as simulating human intelligence in machines. So imagine like an app that can identify a plant you're looking at just by analyzing a photo. That's AI at work. It's all about learning from data to make decisions or predictions.
Oh, okay. So like those personalized recommendations that you get on streaming services like Netflix, those things are always eerily good at knowing what I'm in the weed for.
Exactly. That's a great example. That's AI analyzing your viewing habits, figuring out what you like, and suggesting content you might enjoy. I mean, it's definitely convenient, but it also brings up some interesting questions about like data privacy and how much information these platforms are gathering on our preferences.
Yeah, it's a total double-edged sword for sure. But let's talk about how AI is actually being used in like the creative process itself. Like, are robots going to be writing our screenplays anytime soon?
Well, not quite robots taking over Hollywood just yet, but AI is definitely being used more and more in things like script writing, even composing music in different languages, and even generating like special effects for movies. It's actually really fascinating to see how it's being implemented.
That is fascinating. So we're talking about AI being used for tasks that, usually require human creativity. Like, are screenwriters and composers going to be out of jobs soon?
I think that's a valid concern that a lot of people share, but I tend to see it more as like a collaboration, like AI can handle certain tasks, maybe like suggesting plot points or generating some background music, but this actually frees up human artists to focus on the bigger picture, things like crafting really compelling dialogue or adding that emotional depth and really just like infusing their unique style into the work.
I see. So AI becomes more of a tool than for artists to use and enhance their work.
Exactly. It's about finding that sweet spot where human creativity meets AI assistance, and I think that's what can lead to some really groundbreaking results.
Okay, interesting. So let's move on to something that always seems to spark a bit of intrigue and maybe even a little fear. AI voice cloning. The technology is getting so realistic these days.
It really is remarkable. It's incredible how AI can analyze a person's voice, their tone, their inflections, even like their tiny pauses and stuff, and then just reproduce it with almost like eerie accuracy.
It's crazy. I actually recently heard about podcasts being translated into different languages using AI voices. Can you tell me a little more about how that works?
Sure. So basically, it involves training AI on a massive amount of audio data of the person speaking. And this captures all the nuances of their voice. Then this AI model can be used to generate speech in that same voice, even in different languages. And the really cool part is it still preserves the original speaker's style.
Wow, that's really incredible. I mean, that opens up so many possibilities. Like, for one, making content accessible to way wider audiences.
Absolutely. Like imagine listening to your favorite podcast in another language, but the host still sounds like themselves. That's the power of AI voice cloning. But of course, as with any new technology, there are always ethical considerations to think about as well.
Yeah, like what kind of ethical considerations?
Well, one concern is the potential for misuse. Like, someone could use this technology to create fake audio of a person, maybe to make them sound like they said or did something they never actually did.
Oh, wow, yeah, that is kind of scary. It's like we're entering a world where you can't even trust your own ears anymore.
It's a valid concern, for sure, and it just highlights how important it is to be critical consumers of information, especially in this digital age where things can be manipulated so easily.
Yeah, you're right about that. So we've talked about AI voice cloning, but what about these deep fakes that we keep hearing about?
Uh-huh.
Those seem to have evolved from just silly face swap apps to something way more serious now.
Yeah, you're right. Deepfakes have become incredibly sophisticated. Essentially, they're videos that have been manipulated using AI to replace someone's face or voice with someone else's.
And they're getting harder and harder to detect, too.
Yeah,
It's definitely a little unnerving.
for sure. The technology behind deepfakes has advanced so rapidly, it's getting increasingly difficult to even distinguish what's real from what's fake.
And this has huge implications for everything, right? I mean, it's one thing to create a funny video for fun, but what about using deepfakes to spread misinformation or damage someone's reputation?
Exactly. That's the scary part. The potential for harm is huge. Deepfakes could be used to manipulate elections, or to incite violence, or even just erode trust in legitimate news sources.
It's like we're living in a world now where seeing is no longer believing. And it's not even just what's happening now. It seems like even the past is being rewritten with AI.
You're referring to the idea of using AI to digitally resurrect deceased celebrities.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's both fascinating and a little unsettling to think about at the same time.
For sure. It definitely brings up some interesting questions about legacy and image rights and what it actually means to, like, quote unquote, bring back someone who is no longer with us.
It's like we're venturing into uncharted territory here, both technologically and ethically.
Exactly. And these are important conversations that we need to be having as a society. How do we want to use this technology? What are the ethical boundaries? These are really complex questions with no easy answers. It really is uncharted territory. The ability to recreate someone digitally who has passed away it presents a whole new set of ethical and even philosophical dilemmas that we haven't really grappled with before.
It's true. Like, is it even ethical to use somebody's likeness in a movie or a commercial if they're not around to give consent? And what about like the whole issue of artistic integrity? Are we honoring their legacy, or are we kind of exploiting it?
Right. And those are really, really important questions to be asking. And unfortunately, there aren't any easy answers. The legal framework surrounding these issues is still very much evolving, and there's just a lot of gray area right now.
Yeah, for sure. So like, if somebody wanted to protect their image from being used in this way after they die, like what options do they even have at this point?
Well, they can definitely specify their wishes in their will regarding the use of their likeness. They can also work with, legal professionals to create contracts that protect their image and their voice rights. But as I said, it's a very rapidly changing landscape. So staying informed and seeking legal counsel, like throughout one's life, is going to be really crucial, I think, as this technology develops.
Yeah, that's a lot to consider.
Okay.
But kind of shifting gears a bit here, I am curious about the potential benefits of all this technology too. Like, could digitally resurrecting a beloved celebrity be seen as a way to actually preserve their legacy? Or even like introduce them to like whole new generations of fans?
Yeah, that's a really interesting perspective, and it's one that comes up a lot, actually. Some people argue that it could be a way to pay homage to a legendary performer, or even allow them to, quote unquote, continue their craft in a way. Like, just imagine seeing a digitally resurrected Elvis Presley, for example, performing alongside like a modern artist in a new music video.
Yeah, I can see how that would be really exciting for fans. But then again, some people might find it like disrespectful or even creepy, right? Such a subjective thing.
Exactly. It really all boils down to individual perspectives and how comfortable people are with this kind of technology. There's just no one-size-fits-all answer. But what is important is that we have these conversations openly and thoughtfully and really try to consider all sides of the issue.
Yeah, open dialogue is definitely key. We've been focusing a lot on the film industry, but AI is impacting all areas of entertainment. So let's dive into how it's changing the music industry. Specifically, I'm curious about AI-generated music.
AI-generated music. Yeah, this is another area that's just absolutely exploding right now. And we're seeing AI being used to do some really cool things, like composing original pieces of music in various styles, creating like personalized soundtracks, and even producing music in multiple languages while still like preserving the original emotion and feel of the song.
Whoa, that's incredible. It's like AI is basically becoming like a virtual composer.
Yeah.
So does that mean that we're going to be listening to entirely AI-created albums in the future?
It's definitely possible. I mean, there are already platforms out there that let you generate AI music based on your own preferences. Like maybe you could choose a specific genre or even a certain mood you want to evoke.
So I could essentially like commission an AI to compose like a personalized symphony just for me. That's wild.
Yeah, exactly. You could ask for like a calming piano piece to help you focus while you're working, or maybe an upbeat pop song to lift your spirits. The possibilities really are pretty much endless.
I don't know if that's amazing or terrifying. It's like, on the one hand, it's amazing to have access to that level of personalized music creation. But what does that mean for like the role of human musicians and composers?
Yeah, and that's a valid concern. I think, as with a lot of things we've been talking about, it really comes down to how we as a society choose to use this technology. Some musicians might embrace AI as a tool for collaboration, maybe to overcome a creative block or to explore like new sounds and ideas that they might not have considered before.
So it's not about replacing musicians then, but about giving them new tools to kind of push boundaries and be more creative.
Exactly. It's all about finding that synergy between human artistry and these new AI capabilities. And I think that's really exciting because who knows, maybe that fusion will lead to entirely new genres of music that we haven't even imagined yet.
Yeah, that is a really exciting thought. It seems like every time we dig a little deeper into this topic, we just uncover even more possibilities and even more questions. It's like opening a Pandora's box of innovation.
It really is. AI's influence on the entertainment industry is just so multifaceted, and it's constantly evolving. I think the most important thing is to approach these advancements with a balance of curiosity and critical thinking. We need to embrace the potential benefits, but also be mindful of the potential challenges that come along with it.
You're spot on. We talked about how AI is transforming film. We talked about music. And we can't forget about the world of gaming either. AI has been a part of video games for a while now, but it seems like it's becoming so much more sophisticated, even in just the last few years.
Oh, absolutely. AI is being used by game developers these days to create much more immersive and challenging gaming experiences. So that could be anything from, crafting these intelligent opponents that can adapt to your playing style to generating dynamic and unpredictable game worlds.
I've definitely noticed that in some of the games I've been playing lately, the characters that you interact with that aren't controlled by another player just seem so much more like lifelike now and responsive, and it just makes the whole experience so much more engaging.
Right, and that's really what AI allows those developers to do, create this level of realism and complexity that we just weren't able to achieve before. Like, for example, imagine playing like a role-playing game where the characters you interact with all have their own motivations and memories and relationships. And all of that is being powered by AI.
Wow, that would be incredible. It'd be almost like you're interacting with real people inside of the game.
Exactly. And as the technology continues to advance, we can expect even more immersive and personalized gaming experiences down the line. Like, imagine games that adapt to your mood, your skill level, even your preferred learning style as you're playing.
It's really kind of mind-blowing when you think about how far things have come come and how much AI is really pushing the boundaries of what's possible in the gaming world now. But it's not just gaming, right? We've talked about AI's impact on movies, music, and now gaming. It really feels like AI is about to like completely transform the entire entertainment industry as we know it.
I think that's definitely a fair statement. For a long time, AI was this kind of like futuristic concept that we saw in movies, but it's here now. It's evolving incredibly fast. And as we've been talking about, it's being woven into like the very fabric of the entertainment that we consume every single day.
It's exciting, but also a little bit daunting at the same time, right?
It really is. I think with all the opportunities that AI presents for innovation and creativity and entertainment, it also raises some pretty important questions that we have to consider. Questions about the role of human artists going forward and just the potential implications of having this kind of advanced technology at our fingertips.
Totally. So as we're wrapping up our deep dive here on AI and entertainment, what would you say are some key takeaways that our listeners should keep in mind?
Well, I think first and foremost, it's essential to remember that AI is a tool. Like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad. And ultimately, the responsibility lies with us, all of us as a society, to guide its development and application in a way that benefits humanity as a whole.
Absolutely. It's not about AI taking over, but about using AI in thoughtful and ethical ways to enhance our lives. And what's more enhancing than entertainment?
Exactly. And that kind of leads me to my second point. I really believe we're like right on the edge of a whole new era of creativity, one where human ingenuity and these incredible new AI capabilities are going to combine to create experiences that we really could only have dreamed of before.
It's definitely a fascinating time to be a fan of movies, music, and games. That's for sure.
Absolutely. And I have no doubt that as AI continues to advance, we're going to see even more personalized, immersive, and engaging entertainment experiences than we can even fathom right now. I mean, just imagine a future where you can have a movie that's tailor-made to your specific preferences, or a video game that can actually adapt to your emotions as you're playing in real time.
Okay, now that's both really cool, but also sounds a little bit sci-fi.
Yeah.
But I mean, who knows? Maybe that kind of future isn't that far off after all.
I like to think anything is possible. And that's why it's just so crucial for everyone to stay informed and to really engage in these conversations about the ethics of AI and how we use it. Approach these advancements with equal parts enthusiasm and a healthy dose of critical thinking.
Very well said. It seems like every question we answer about AI just leads to even more fascinating questions.
What is the beauty of it?
It really is. Well, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. This has been our deep dive into the world of AI and entertainment. I hope you've enjoyed this whirlwind tour of algorithms and artificial creativity and the future of fun. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep into the fascinating world all around us.